Alright, what's happening YouTube? This is EX7 Mods, as most of you know me by, and here with the beginning of a series of tutorials that I'm finally getting around to putting out on how to modify, mod, customize, whatever you want to call it. But basically just the bare basics of what I know and kind of give you guys some pointers of what I've learned over the years. So, without further ado, let's get started. Number one, what is modding? You ask? Modding is short for modifications, modifying. Modding in itself is not illegal, which a lot of people think it is for some reason. But the piracy aspect of it is what is frowned upon, so to speak. The modding itself is not illegal, especially just case mods, custom mods. If anyone ever tries to tell you otherwise, tell them that they are an idiot. And as long as you're not illegally copying or downloading, even if you got a chip in your console, it's not illegal. But, you know, everyone has their own point of view. But anyways, that's what modding actually stands for. And I would think the computer group actually kind of got into console modding before anyone else did, because they were already taking stuff apart and putting it back together. But I really don't know the history. It's just kind of what I've seen over the years. Let's see here. Alright. First thing you're gonna want, is a workspace. Someplace out of the way. Someplace kind of, I don't know, your own. Because the thing I've found handy is whenever it's a place that no one else messes with, you can start a project and you can stop what you're doing and come back and pick up right where you left off. And that's always nice, and it always sucks whenever you come back and things are missing because somebody decided to clean for you or something, or decided that they needed a tool that is suddenly gone forever. I just got a basic table. I got some stuff I got off of Home Depot, kind of like a work pad. I got my tool trays. I got things semi-organized, but not so much. I got a little thing to hold my nuts and bolts. That's all other robotic stuff. I kind of keep it separate, but the point is to have pretty much a space to call your own. That'll save you a lot of time and a lot of aggravation, as opposed to doing something like this in your living room and then having to put it all away and then break it out later when you have time. So, good workspace. Alright, next would be tools. The tools that you are going to want are not like giant power tools by any means, but screwdrivers, bit drivers, miniature drivers. I got brushes to clean stuff out. Let's see here, safety glasses. You're going to want some lights. If you can swing it, having a magnifying glass for soldering is always nice. That is a modder's must, is to get a soldering iron. It's really better to go all the way and get one that's adjustable. This one has a reflow station. I don't hardly use it, but it's adjustable, and the tips are interchangeable, which again is very handy for when you want to do smaller, precise modding, like parse, installing a mod chip, or working on a circuit board that's been cracked. Very handy to have the adjustability, because sometimes you can actually burn through the circuit board or motherboard. Another modder's must is to have a Dremel tool. Usually this is one that I like. I do believe the company is called Dremel. And it comes with different attachments, so different cuts you can do. Like if you want to clean up your edges, they got something for that. They got grinds for stonework, although I don't do a lot of that. They even have little discs, which are actually come in handy. But yeah, Dremel tool is something you want to invest in. I recommend do not buy the cordless one, because that one doesn't last and you'll always have to charge the battery midway through your case cuts and then come back later, and it's just annoying. Definitely go with corded, which I actually recommend for all your tools, but again, to each their own. A multimeter is also very good to have. It helps you determine what volts are coming from where, especially if there's no tutorials on the mods you're wanting to do, like say LED mods. You can find the 12-volt power source using this. I don't have them attached, but usually they got point meters. But definitely a lifesaver. Some solder, some soldering flux is nice. I always like to carry WD-40 for cleaning things up. Tweezers are always good. Again, just the other thing about having the tools is having a place to keep them, and hence why I stress a little bit on organization. Let's see here. A drill, always nice to have. Heat gun, again, you'll find every once in a while you'll need it. Like say you want to shape some plexiglass. That's my shelf of parts. Well, one of them. I have a lot of projects and I don't have as much time as I once did, so they all just kind of piled up. Alright. Anyway, that pretty much covers the tools that I find the most useful. Alright. Next is to exercise, and I know this seems silly, but whenever you're doing this stuff, it's best to have a little bit of patience. I wish I could show you the prime example of not having that, but unfortunately I got it put away. But I was working on a PSP and I literally got so frustrated that I tore the thing in half, and I put it in a box to kind of remind myself not to do that again, because you know, PSPs were pretty expensive back at the time, and a little patience always is nice. Think about what you're doing, and you know, kind of, if you get frustrated or if something doesn't come right, just take a break, you know, take the day off, leave for a while, come back with a fresh mind and a fresh you know, aspect of it, and you'll find that things will run smoother. Alright, another thing is, if you are here to try to make money doing this, I would say stop watching this video immediately, because you will not make any money unless you got like super high clientele. But And some people have made money, but they do amazing work. And as for beginners, you won't be making money. You'll never actually really make your monies back. It's pretty much just doing it for the love of doing it, and I love doing it. Although I don't have as much time as I used to, it's something that I always found enjoyable, and over the years I got better, and I have made a few bucks, but I'll never consider this to be an actual job because it's just too far in between. So again, do it for the love, not the money. My philosophy in life, if you ask me. But alright, you are, as much as I hate to say it, you are going to screw up eventually. It happens. Sometimes it's not even your fault. But when it does happen, don't freak out. It happens. And the best thing you can do is just salvage the part. Get rid of what you don't need. And then just move on to the next project. Alright, lastly, when you're starting out doing modding, you want to start out small. You don't want to go out and buy a brand new PS4 or Xbox One and decide you're going to do all this crazy stuff with it. And what I recommend is working on old generation consoles. They're a lot more simple. There's a lot of tutorials. And if you screw up, big deal. What do these go for? Like 30 bucks on eBay for a good one. If you know where to look, you can get them for like 10 bucks a piece, but they usually have bad parts. This one in particular has a bad hard drive, and will actually be the one I'm using for a few more tutorials, but we'll get into that later. And I lied to you. That is not the lastly thing. The very, very last thing is to use your imagination. If you can picture it, within the realm of possibilities, it can be done. I've seen some pretty wild mods out there, and no mod is too odd or extreme to pull off, unless you're talking about technology that hasn't been invented yet. I've seen all kinds of mods. I've seen retro mods. I've seen case transfers. People even make the circuit board smaller, if you can believe that. Chances are you can find a tutorial on what you want to do if you just type it in and search for it. But yeah, no, just use your imagination, kind of plan it out for what it's worth, and think about how you're actually going to accomplish it. And that way you'll have a better idea of what you need to do when, as opposed to doing one part and then realizing that you forgot to do something else when it would have been easier to take it apart and do it all at once and put it back together. And not that it's a work in progress isn't too bad. That's how my first Xbox was, is I'd do a mod, I'd put it back together, take it apart, do another mod, put it back together. Eventually the case got worn out because I must have had it up together and apart at least just under 100 times. But anyway, those are your basics when it comes to modding. I will be throwing tutorials up as I make them. I actually got some work to do, so if you guys got any questions, suggestions, if you look for tools, a lot of them are commonly at Walmart or eBay. Other than that, parts, eBay. I definitely recommend like LEDs or plexiglass. Definitely get it from there. Other than that, just kind of scrounge around. If you see something that might be cool, don't be afraid to pick it up. And you know, you'll never know when you'll